definitely so many things about 2020 that were negative, but I did feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and there's, you know, like some new bad thing would happen and we kind of would just like shrug our shoulders and roll on.
Hi Mike, how are you today?
How are you?
I'm very fine. How is going on?
Very good, thank you.
All last year and part of this one you spent streaming on Twitch, giving tips and lessons on music production and composing with fans. And I must say that no matter if you don't have knowledge of the subject, it's very interesting and entertaining see you talking about all this. So what have you learned from all these sessions on Twitch, and what has surprised you the most?
I think what I like, there are so many things that I like about doing it. I started because like being in quarantine was so confusing and kind of boring, and I felt disconnected. And so I started streaming Monday through Friday, partially because I wanted connection with the people, with other people, and also because I wanted some structure to my life, like to just have a weekday thing that I would do. But what it became is like a really fun exercise in like being creative every day and always showing up to like, you know, every day can be completely different, and sometimes they're great and sometimes they're super weird. This year, I think the place where it ended up this year is a lot of fun. Right now what I'm doing is I'm basically producing songs by fans. So a fan will, you know, write a new song and then tag me with the hashtag Shinoda produce me, and the fans from Twitch and I look for those on Twitter, on Instagram, TikTok, whatever. And when I see one that I like, I ask them for, you know, the files and whatever, and I produce it on the stream, and then I give them a finished, mixed, mastered song and all the stems, and they can release it on their own.
Okay, and talking about these sessions and all the quarantine, do you think affect the way you compose or perceive the music?
Yeah, I think like doing it so regularly and having the challenges of changing approaches every single day. In the last couple of weeks, I've done like really loud songs, really soft songs, soulful songs, like, you know, kind of like R&B, blues, hyper pop, EDM, hip hop. I mean, it's all over the place. Somebody at one point, they had a suggestion to do a song in the style of Japanese obon traditional music meets the Doors, meets the Strokes, meets a video game theme. I was just like, wow, this is such a challenge. But like that type of challenge is so fun to do.
Sounds very fun.
Sometimes the result is terrible, but that's okay.
No, I don't think so. A few hours ago, the video for Happy Endings was released, a song where Ian Dyer and UPS AHL collaborate, two artists that have different styles but complement each other. So how was it working with them, and how did you manage to create something unique with this song?
Originally I wrote the song with Sam Ronson and Pete Nappy, and Upsal. And Sam had texted me and asked if I wanted to write something. And a few days later, a different person that wasn't related to any of them said, "Have you ever heard of this girl Upsal?" And I was like, "No," but I didn't like really pay attention. And then Sam said, "Hey, the session is coming up. Do you mind if we add this girl Upsal? I think like, have you heard of her? She's really great. I think we would write well together." And I was like, this is too crazy that these two different random people mentioned her name in the same week. So we added her to the mix, and we just, like, when we got together, it just felt really natural and good. I remember I was like, I think she asked, "What do you want to write about?" And I was just like, well, the only thing we're all really thinking is like how sick we are of like quarantine and all the drama that's going on. So we kind of started there, but our vibe, like our energy was not negative or sad. Like everybody, I feel like I've heard a couple songs about 2020 that are very depressing. And that wasn't my energy. Like there are definitely so many things about 2020 that were negative, but I did feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and there's, like some new bad thing would happen, and we kind of would just like shrug our shoulders and roll our eyes and say, well, it's 2020, anything can happen. Like
another interesting thing about this single is that you release it under the NFT auction format, something that apparently will be something that many artists will adopt in the future. So how was the approach to this new way of promoting your music, and what was it that caught your attention?
With myself and with Linkin Park, we've released so many different things with a cutting edge technology or a new idea. Like, we've released things on brand new platforms, we've released them with scavenger hunts, we've released them with new apps and new games, and this was like as simple as like I was excited about what's happening in the NFT space, and I knew that no major label artist had done it yet, and so I wanted to be the first. And so I convinced all of the labels and publishers to just trust me. And I have to give credit to my manager, who really helped me like get there. It was a leap of faith. Like they didn't even know what an NFT was. Now they certainly do. It's like all over the news and everything, and we're all still learning. But the format was simple. Like I created like 10 different, an edition of 10 different versions. The artwork for the cover had been drawn by Kane Kaser and me. So I took that and I animated it, and then I put the song to it, and I numbered them. And I released them on Zora under zora.co/Mike. And we raised like $37,000 for charity. It was a really good, launch and a good stepping stone for fans to start to understand the space.
Throughout 2020, we live a very interesting phenomenon within the music industry. Even though there were no live concerts or festivals, many artists took advantage of this time to compose and release a lot of music. Practically every week we had new songs. So what do you think about it?
I mean, that was expected, I thought. Like, as soon as concerts shut down, I knew that like the next thing was going to be, for a while, artists were going to get on streaming platforms. They were going to be releasing all the music that they were writing in quarantine, doing VR concerts and things like that. Those are all natural things to do, and that's great. I know that everybody is excited to get back to doing live shows. I also know that a lot of the musicians and the crew members and the people who support those things, so like the guitar tech and the like dressing room assistant or whatever, the bus driver, like those people, a lot of those folks have had their living completely compromised by this thing, by COVID. And that's why if you go on the Happy Endings YouTube page and watch the video right now, you'll see a Music Cares donation button. I chose Music Cares because they've been doing some really great programs to help all the people who've been impacted by COVID in that way in the music community.
Thank you so much for your time, Mike. We hope you see you soon in Mexico, and thank you for the music.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.